Yo, what it do, wealth champions? Top of the morning to you, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time for the Cortez Hustle Show. And do we have an amazing show lined up for you today? Yes, of course, we're going to get into news every hustler can use. We're going to talk about the hidden opportunity in corrections. Yes, today's show, we're talking about entrepreneurship versus mass incarceration. We got a special guest on, Mr. Lester Young, founder of Path to Redemption. He's also an author of The 5 Stages of Incarceration. We'll talk to him a little bit later. And if you stick around to the end of the show, I'm going to give you 5 businesses you can start for under $200. So keep it locked right here.
It up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. My eyes done seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. My eyes done seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help.
Money, money, money. That's all he talks about.
There's nothing wrong with being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth.
Money is the root of all.
No, it's the love of money that's the root of all evil.
All my money. Oh, kid.
Yes, I do think about other things in money.
Money.
I'm just trying to leave a legacy for my family. Money's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur. And y'all know I'm on a mission to help empower our people economically through financial literacy. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not gotten yourself a free copy of my book, Monetize My Life, 4 incredibly simple ways to profit from your passion, you need to go over to monetizemylifenow.com. You cover shipping and the book is yours, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know how we do it, man. If you happen to be catching us live on Facebook or YouTube, then make sure that you comment in the chat where you're from. Also drop the name of your business and or your brand. You never know who might want to connect with you based on seeing that on today's show. Also, don't be afraid to engage with your boy, man. We love having fun on this show, trying to bring some what we call infotainment, right? Information that you can use in an entertaining way that you would stay tuned in and stay plugged in. Like I talked about earlier, man, we've got a dynamic show for you guys this morning. And guess what? Your cost for admission is what? A simple share. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that share button, man. Smash that share button. Send it to the groups that you're a part of. Tag a friend, and let's go ahead and get this thing started. So we like to run an episode segment that we call News Every Hustler Can Use. And I like to hop over to a screen share and kind of look at some of the top interviews or articles over on Black Enterprise Magazine. Then we might hop into a little bit of Forbes as well. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're not staying up on game with the latest trends, you're not seeing what's going on in the world of entrepreneurship, you are doing yourself a disservice. One of the things that I like to do is look at these articles to draw inspiration, to see who's winning and applaud their success, but also see how they're winning, right? So let's see, Black bookstore owner selling out of books for the first time in 30 years. Yes, people are still going to bookstores, ladies and gentlemen. I think this coronavirus deal has created somewhat of a renaissance in a lot of areas, right? When before we were forced to be lockdown and staying at home, and people maybe weren't reading books like they are now, because I think one of the things that a lot of us did, especially us parents who've got younger children, we didn't want our children to be locked down and in front of a TV and video game. So a lot of them ran to bookstores and got some interesting titles for their kids to read. And a lot of parents start reading with the kids as well. Entrepreneur Felicia Deutsch opens up about juggling a day job, a business, and 4 children. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an article that you should check out. If you, my friend, are an entrepreneur and have a full-time job, then why don't you see how someone is doing it successfully, ladies and gentlemen? And there is nothing wrong with those humble beginnings. I say all the time, man, for some reason, we despise humble beginnings, and we think if we don't have our name in a grand marquee, then we can't have a business. No. One of the best ways to start a business is to start a business that you run from your home. Tax benefits, low overhead. There's a lot of benefits to just getting started where you are with what you have. DJ Scratch, I don't even know DJ Scratch, but has the vision to fuel his entrepreneurial spirit. He's a three-time Grammy nominated DJ and multi-platinum recording producer. So it looks like he's got a little business acumen that he's putting on display. Let's see what else we got. This is huge, man. Black couple is helping businesses stay clean amid COVID-19. What I love about this, ladies and gentlemen, is, hey, Mary, how are you this morning? The SOS show is in the building this morning. Listen, you have to understand how to recognize opportunity. Now, I'm sure this black couple's cleaning business wasn't so sexy just 6 months ago. But guess what? Who knew coronavirus was coming, right? And now they are leveraging their position in the marketplace and seizing the opportunity. And now they are exploding their business because they were already making businesses coronavirus safe even before coronavirus with their cleaning and sanitation business. But now they are in high demand. Another great story, ladies and gentlemen, I love Black chocolatier, tired of being fired, created his own chocolate company and hired himself. Listen, that's what it's all about, man. Before you go complaining, griping about the situation as it currently is, what are you doing to change the situation? What are you doing to create opportunities for yourself? So I'm definitely going to dive into this young man's background and possibly see if I can get him on the show to talk a little bit about his whole experience and going from an employee constantly getting fired to creating his own lane, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes that's all it takes, man. You get out there, step out on faith, and create your own lane and stop waiting on someone to recognize your talents. Private jet broker Kelvin Mensa is soaring to new heights amid COVID-19. See, everybody ain't losing, y'all, right? This man is a private jet broker. During coronavirus, while you're thinking, I can't charge this much for my products and services because ain't nobody gonna buy them. People are holding on to money. It says this brother is soaring to new heights amid COVID-19. Why? Because those who got it are saying, listen, if I'm going to fly, I'd rather fly private so I don't have to worry about going through the airports in the traditional manner. I don't have to worry about being in a congested airplane compartment with other people coughing and hacking. See, you got to understand that there's a great amount of opportunity right now. Stop talking about this ain't the time to contract. Listen, there's a time to expand and there's a time to contract. And if we understand anything about entrepreneurship business, if you study wealthy people, then you know they always do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Wealthy people tend to thrive because they do the opposite of what everybody else is doing, right? Everybody else is contracting, holding on, batting down the hatches, buckling down, squeezing every dollar they have, trying to hold on to it. What are wealthy people doing? They are expanding. They are taking chances. They are taking risks. They are taking advantage of this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. And I think you should be doing the exact same thing. They say success leaves clues, right? Let's jump over to see what one of the top articles that Forbes has going on in this entrepreneurship category. Let's see. I think I like to do small business with little Forbes. Let's see, entrepreneurs. Yeah, let's see. See what's going on in small business entrepreneurs. This influencer's passion, educating a generation of Black business something. Let's see. Black business owners. Why these entrepreneurs stay focused on getting on the green agenda during the lockdown. Again, experience matters when choosing your early stage startup team. See, again, I try to show you guys articles and things that you could use to help you either transition from employee think to entrepreneur think, or if you're starting up, this will be a great article for a startup business, right? Save America, start a company. Man, I keep trying to tell y'all, entrepreneurship is the way to go. And what's the best way to go? Start with the gift, talent, or special ability that you already have right now. What are you good at? What comes easy to you, right? What is everybody always asking you questions about? And they trust your opinion. Chances are you can build a business around those things. Now, because we're talking about entrepreneurship versus mass incarceration, I want to pose a question to you guys before we go to this first break. And that question is this: if we know mass incarceration is locking up more Black and brown people than ever, right? If we are complaining that our brothers and sisters are coming out of these establishments and they are literally in worse shape than they went in, if we know that prisons are privatized, what if we started our own prisons? What if we created our own correctional facilities? See, I'm not for all of the complaining all the time. Is there a time to make your voice heard? Yes. Is there a time to look at the problem? Yes. But when you focus solely on the problem, what tends to happen is you make that problem so big that you think it cannot be solved. Ladies and gentlemen, what's wrong with Black people creating their own correctional facilities? Y'all want to keep locking our people up in a higher rate of proportion than any other culture for the same infractions? Come on, man. Black people are 4 times likely to get locked up for marijuana possession than our white counterparts, right? Okay, if you're going to keep on locking us up for these simple infractions, how about we have our own correctional facilities and we actually correct those who have to go that way, right? You go to our correctional facilities and we put back education. We put back entrepreneurship programs. We put back job skills training so that when our people that are locked up at twice the rate of anybody else in this economy, in this country, right? They actually get some skills. They actually get some coping mechanism. They actually get some psychological help to help them deal with the trauma that they've experienced that led them to committing the crimes that landed them in jail. So when they get out, they have the tools necessary to stay out. I'm just saying, it's a business, right? Like any other business. Why have we not created our own correctional facilities since we're complaining about mass incarceration? I'm just a question, just a thought. And I know a lot of people will say, well, Cortez, they not gonna let us. I'm tired of that one too. I'm tired of that one too. Stop talking about who ain't gonna let you do what. Just get it done. So on the other side of this break, man, I'm gonna bring you guys an interview with founder of Path to Redemption, Mr. Lester Young. Brother served a life sentence in prison. started some programs inside of prison, got out, started an organization, started a business, and it has been on and popping since. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to introduce you guys to founder and author, founder of Path to Redemption and author of The 5 Stages of Incarceration, Mr. Lester Young. So keep it locked right here.
Welcome to the Be Epic Lifestyle. Every day, more and more people are in constant search of tools that can help them transform their lives to achieve balance and well-being. The Be Epic High Performance Business Plan is designed to transform and improve every aspect of your life. With great passion, a unique 50% retail business model, and the Be Epic High Performance product line, you will be able to get the Be Epic Lifestyle bonuses. So your lifestyle will always be kept at its best and you will get outstanding benefits. Elevate is a rich blend of fruits and vegetables that combines the benefits of medicinal and nootropic mushrooms to keep you motivated, creative, and improve your concentration and memory. The stomach is your body's second brain. That's why Accelerate Restore is in charge of keeping it in good condition with a pre and probiotic digestive mix that also supports weight control. And with the powerful herbal extracts of Accelerate Sleep, you can relax and improve your sleep quality. Start your transformation today by becoming a Be Epic partner or preferred customer and improve your health, your life, your finances, and that way you will achieve the well-being and balance you have always wanted. Be loud. Be you. Be epic.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, and we're coming to you live and direct from the Monetize My Life studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you all have a gift, talent, or special ability that God blessed you with. If you are struggling to figure out how to turn that into a profit, then you need to get a copy of my best-selling book, Monetize My Life. All you got to do is go to monetizemylifenow.com. It's yours free. You cover shipping, and we'll get it right out to you today. Man, am I excited about our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, this brother has been grinding for as long as I've seen him out on social media. Every time I turn it on, he's doing something positive in the community. So I thought it'd be good to introduce you guys to founder of Path to Redemption, Mr. Lester Young. How you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. Blessings, and I appreciate the invite, my brother, and blessings to your guests as well who get a chance to view this.
Awesome. So I guess we'll start with who you are and where did Path to Redemption come from?
As I said, my name is Lester Young. I live in South Carolina, and the term Path to Redemption came from me. I was sentenced to life in prison at 19 years old. And I served a total of 22 years and 5 months inside of the Department of Correction in South Carolina. And inside of that system, I discovered several things about myself. And one of them was that I had a gift that was beyond the crimes that I committed. And this is where Path to Redemption came, where I wanted to share my life experience with another generation of people to help prevent them from finding themselves inside of a prison system for the rest of their lives. So that's where Path to Redemption came from.
I love it, brother. And you're doing a great work of helping people not only find that path when they are released, but also you're doing work on the front end with the youth to keep them from going down that path to begin with. So what was it like as you meandered on that journey to finding your initial path and then realizing that, you know what, this is not of me, this is a gift from God, and I need to use that to my best ability?
It was, like I said, was sitting inside of the prison system, man, and having that moment of reflection and realizing that my life was, I was serving life, and I didn't know how I was going to do life in prison. No one give you a manual how to do time in prison.
Right.
But in that time, man, I had a few mentors that started providing me with reading material. I remember sitting inside one of the prison day room one day, and this guy was reading a book on business, marketing. And he was like, young brother, he said, the same stuff that you was doing selling drugs is the same stuff what head CEOs do in major corporations. It's that you just got to switch your product up. And I laughed and I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that stuff. Here someone, at this time in prison. I was like, man, I'm done with it. But that resonated with me. And I remember picking this book up about business and marketing. And I was like, oh, man, I can't believe I was hoodwinked into believing the only pathway out of the neighborhood or the community where I stayed was selling drugs. But it was actually business. And this a light turned on in my head. I was like, man, God has given me a gift to sell a product. I just needed to learn the tools. And that's when I began that process of educating myself about business and the things that will allow me to create a means for myself, but also empower my brothers who are inside of a system who got hoodwinked the same way.
Yeah, and that's huge, man. We often talk about the fact that we know the D-boys on the corner are some of the best entrepreneurs and business people on the planet. They just happen to be dealing in an illegal trade, the way that they're dealing in it, right? And I say that because they are dealing in the same trade as Big Pharma. The same drugs that Big Pharma are pushing legally, they have kind of shut the door for us to get involved in some of those arenas. So, a lot of our guys are doing it illegally. And, that's all part of the plan to create that highway to the prison industrial complex, because we know that they're privately owned, and that's a whole nother topic. But that there is a strategic plan to keep the prisons filled with mostly Black and brown people. So how old were you when you got this mentorship, kind of infused into your life? And what was it that made you ultimately listen? Because I hear that, some of the young guys coming into the system, there are a lot of guys who are trying to keep them from coming back and help them do their time without, any issues or backsliding or backlash. But some of the young folks or what the OGs would say is hard-headed. But what was it about the mentors that approached you or your mindset at the time where it was just ready to receive some life instruction?
Well, it was one of my mentor was actually someone that I looked up to in the drug game. And he was actually already 3 years into his incarceration when I entered into the system. So I came into the system with this tough guy on my chest, like, yo, bro, I surpassed you in this drug game. And that was crazy when you think about it. But I was like, yo, I maximized, I beat what your records were as far as selling drugs and the money that you made in the cars, etc. And he was on a different mindset. He was like, man, that stuff don't even matter to me no more. He said the game is way bigger than what you think it is. And I remember him giving me a book, and I was like, bro, I don't read, because at this time I was 20-something years old, still reading at the 7th grade level of education, only had street knowledge and street experience, no real academic understanding of how the world worked. And when he gave me this book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, and he forced me to read this book, and because of the respect I had for him, this began to shift my paradigm when I'm starting to look like the reason why I'm inside of a system. It was true indeed, the game was somewhat rigged, but it was my thought process. I didn't understand, that my thoughts generate my reality. And if I thought like a drug dealer, this is the consequences I'm going to get. If I think as a CEO of my own business, this is the type of results I'm going to get. So it was just really, man, my respect for my mentor, my big homie, who introduced me to just reading and started giving me real understanding of what life, how the world operated outside of that small world that I was living in that time.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head, that small world, right? When people are caught up in that street life, it is the world, and they think that is all there is to the world, and it is so much more than that, man. And we know, as we talked a little bit earlier about, the game being rigged, and I like to say it's rigged, but at the same time, it's fair. And the reason I say it's rigged and fair, we know that the rules are set against us and for us to fail. But that's what makes it fair, is that we know that, right? It would be different if we were playing the game and we had no idea that the rules were set against us. But with that little bit of insight, now that means, okay, I know you're trying to trap me up. So I'm going to make sure that I'm looking out for the trap, right? As the prey. How cool would it be if all the prey in the animal kingdom knew exactly where the hunters were, right? It'd be a lot more difficult. So we've got to use that to our advantage, man. So appreciate you being candid. And when we come back on the other side of this break, we're going to start talking solutions. We know what kind of led down the path to my man Lester doing life and serving 22 years, but he got his mindset right inside, right? And it didn't take him the whole 22 years to fix his mindset, but then he started taking action while he was inside and serving and helping others. So on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about solutions to this mass incarceration deal that's happening in our community. Keep it locked right here.
What if a product existed that allowed you to lose weight while you got the best sleep of your life? An all-natural supplement comprised of herbs, extracts, prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes that work naturally with your body to reduce stress, invoke a relaxed state of mind and body, while simultaneously accelerating digestion and metabolism, resulting in a great night's sleep as you burn calories. The result is you sleep better and you wake up lighter than you went to bed. A world leader in nutritional products, Be Epic, introduces Accelerate, a special 2-capsule combination you take just before bedtime. One prepares your mind and body for a deeper night's sleep, while the other gently works with your body's chemistry to accelerate digestion, flush toxins, increase metabolism, and result in a lighter, leaner you every morning. Discover for yourself the life-changing benefits of this amazing supplement. Order your pack of Accelerate capsules today, backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Manage your body and mind naturally with Accelerate. Visit the website shown below or contact the person who sent you this video.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am your host, Cortez Hustle, and I got to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, My Perfect Money Plan. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a plan for your money, somebody else will. I can guarantee you that. My Perfect Money Plan helps you in 4 main areas: taxes, debt, credit, and also asset accumulation. All you got to do is go to myperfectmoneyplan.com and get your access to that system. It's a wonderful system. It's what I use to help me personally get my personal finances in order, as well as my business finances in order. So myperfectmoneyplan.com. Before we went to that break, we were talking to Lester Young, founder of Path to Redemption, and he was talking about the mindset he began to develop because he had someone who loved him on the inside of incarceration, who kind of guided him, and he ultimately became that person. So you actually began the foundations of Path to Redemption inside a prison, right? You were actually doing things to help other inmates. So talk a little bit about that.
I mean, because I was a violent offender, as I said, I went to prison serving a life sentence inside of the prison system, and I had a violent offense. I was denied a lot of the programs because most of the programs in prison are geared towards nonviolent offenders. So through the course of me reading and reading and having that desire to want to do better, and saying that I got tired of seeing other young men like myself coming to prison and walking out of prison, coming right back, I just decided to start using my leadership skills and the knowledge that I started gaining and started creating curriculums to help individuals tap into what their gifts were. And like I said, I appealed to a lot of those individuals who were like a similar lifestyle as myself, selling drugs. So I started creating financial literacy programs, entrepreneurship classes, personal development classes to start getting them prepared to enter into the society again and never come back. Because I got tired of seeing people go out, come back, and I'm stuck in here with a life sentence with a 3% chance of ever getting out of prison. And to see you come back, I just wanted to do my part.
Yeah, man, recidivism rates are extremely high for that very reason, man, because they are not departments of correction, right? In terms of you coming in, let us help correct the behavior that led you here. So when you get out, you won't come back. And it's interesting that inmates are having to do that for themselves and for each other. So we thank God for you, brother, because that is a godsend. I know there are countless young men who, got under your wing and learned to start thinking differently, see the world differently beyond the dope game, the hustle game, the rob game, whatever they were into that landed them in prison. It's wonderful to see another side of even themselves. So like you said, you started to see some other qualities in you that you didn't know were marketable. Talk about some of those skill sets that you developed while you were on the inside that's helping you now run your foundations and continue to do God's work on the outside.
Like I said, from the curriculums that I was able to write inside of prison, I turned it into a book. I turned it into this book called The 5 Stages of Incarceration. I wrote a book, this book's about personal development. Mm-hmm. So I used my story and my experience to create a guide, like a roadmap to help individuals those who are still incarcerated, whether Department of Juvenile Justice, county facility, even adult prisons, to give them somewhat of a framework of what their mindset have to look like, in order for them to capitalize on incarceration. Mm-hmm. Prison is set up for you not to change. Prison is set up just as a place to hold you there and seize you in time. You go to prison in 2000, it's almost like time stands still there. But I give them a guide to say, this is what you need to do. And I took that skill and came out of prison and applied it outside of prison, becoming a certified life coach, where I work specifically with men and women and teen boys about how to be successful after prison, and so that you would never go to prison. Mm-hmm. So it's really just sharing those stories the experiences I went through, to help empower them make better choices in their lives, so that we don't continue feeding the prison system with our people, our Black and brown men and women, but mm-hmm. to prevent them to come out and stay out in the community, to be productive and tap into their skill set.
Gotcha. Okay. And when you returned and you touched down and you wanted to do this work, continue the work that you had already started in prison, mm-hmm. Did you meet any resistance with getting your foundation set up because you had the conviction on your record, or what was it?
Really, that was the easiest thing. That was the easiest thing. And a lot of people don't realize it's harder to get a job with a felony than to buy a house or to start your own business. That's the one thing that they don't ask you. When I started my foundation, they didn't ask me about my felony conviction. Mm-hmm. They didn't ask me about that. When I applied for a job, that's the first thing they asked me about: have you been convicted of a felony? So I tell people that the stuff that I'm doing now, I started this inside of prison, and I came home with this mission to start these 2 businesses upon me being free. And I've had great success because no one asked me about a felony conviction. I had a lot of challenges and pushback when I was applying for jobs, and when jobs mm-hmm. telling me, hey, I got to do a background check, the chances I know I'm not going to get the job because I have a violent offense. So when I applied for housing or renting an apartment, they told me I'm not able to get it because of my felony conviction. But when I bought my first house 2 years after my incarceration, they never asked me about a felony conviction.
Right.
So it's better when you look at entrepreneurship, you can maybe, like I did finally get a job, but my mindset was creating my own lane that I don't have to keep asking. People don't have to keep telling me no because of my felony conviction. When I go do jobs now, whatever I do, they don't never ask me about a felony conviction.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, man. And that's what we want to talk about. I want to spend the rest of the interview kind of diving in deeper on that, because you said something that makes a lot of sense to me. And I hear a lot of brothers and sisters complain about the system, right? Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that they have to open their minds to is entrepreneurship. Yes, the system is designed for certain things, but there are also multiple the systems, right? There mm-hmm. is the employment system, there is the school system, there is also the business system and the entrepreneurship system, and there is a lot of latitude and freedom. So what was the first business that you started for yourself when you got out?
Man, to tell you, I started a pressure washing business. And let me share this with you. I saw a guy in prison pressure washing the concrete at one of the prisons where I was. And I asked him about it. I was like, yo, how much does it cost to start something like this? He told me. And I remember I locked that in my head. And when I came home, I got a job, started putting money aside, paying myself, learning from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Richest Man of Babylon, they taught me about how to pay myself once I got employed. So I started doing that, and I was able to invest in my first business, which was a pressure washing business, which now I still run. I've been running this business for 3 years, but it started from me seeing somebody in prison do it, educating myself about financial literacy, understanding entrepreneurship, how to start a LLC, a sole proprietor inside of prison. When I came home, it was easy for me to file the application to register my business as an LLC and started a pressure washing business, something I saw in prison that I was able to do, turn that particular but an opportunity into a source of income for myself, another stream of income for myself.
That's beautiful, man. And that's one of the things that's low startup costs. Again, they will say the system won't give me a job. And I'm here to tell you, especially if it's your first time getting out, I've got relatives, and yeah, you get out and you say, hey, Cortez, I'm having a hard time getting a job because of the felony conviction, but I want to start this business. Will you invest? Absolutely, I'll invest. But if you come to me crying about this system that's holding you down because of the felony conviction, I know way too many people like you, Brother Lester, who have created some massive success in spite of the conviction. So what would you say to a young man or a young woman who's getting out and they want to go that route? I want to take the entrepreneurship route. What are some first few steps or some direction that you can give them to help them along that path?
One would be your mindset, man. As you know personally, entrepreneurship is not for the weak-hearted people. But I tell people, you've been in the prison system for whatever amount of years, you develop some type of mental fortitude to endure the rejections and no's. And that's one of the things I would say is your mindset and knowing your self-worth. And the third thing would be understanding that you creating another stream of income, that you are now looking at creating generational wealth. There's nothing more prideful for me now when I wear my business shirt and I see Young's Integrity Pressure Washing. Young is my last name, and I now understand the value of that last name because it's connected to my father. You see what I'm saying? So it's the mindset, understanding your self-worth, and understanding you're creating something generational. My business, my book, all of that is generational wealth that I'm going to pass to my 4-year-old daughter. She's 4 now. She's going to be able to inherit some of this wealth as I continue to build these particular businesses that I have. So it's your mindset. And if people in prison or getting out of prison, you have to get out and do not allow that like you entitled to something. Nothing in this world should be given to you. You got to fight hard to get it. And that mindset tells you, in order for you to be successful, you got to have a strong mindset to succeed. Don't think that nobody's just going to give you anything. Nobody going to give you a business. You got to earn a business.
Absolutely, man. And when they think about it, if they think deeply enough, it's the same thing that got you in prison, right? Think about it. You had to learn the skill set, whether you were a D-boy, robbing, jacking, whatever. You had to hang around the right people, right? You got your clique, you got your crew. All of that stuff is the same when you go legit and you think about entrepreneurship. You got to get your mindset right. You got to develop a skill set. You got to hang around the right people. You got OGs in the hood, mentors. Well, guess what? You got to get you a mentor in business. It's all the same. When we come back on the other side of this break, man, Lester's going to let you guys know exactly where y'all can connect with him, how y'all can help him spread the message of Path to Redemption and help him continue God's work. So keep it locked right here.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, grumpy, and exhausted? A world leader in nutritional products, Be Epic introduces a cutting-edge performance product, Elevate, featuring the world's most pure herbal, whole food, and medicinal mushroom extracts. This proprietary formula gives your mind and body a boost of energy, endurance, enhanced feeling of well-being, and natural healing power. The days of sugar and caffeine are over. The world is moving back to nature's natural remedies, and the research scientists behind the formulation of Be Epic's Elevate have combined synthesized modern extract technology with ancient medicinal secrets, giving your mind and body the ability to perform at levels higher than ever. Energy, vitality, and overall health, helping prevent weight gain, sleep deprivation, inflammation, and chronic illness. Discover for yourself the life-changing benefits of this powerful elixir of energy, vitality, and overall health. Order your pack of Elevate capsules today, backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Boost your body and mind naturally with Elevate. Visit the website shown below or contact the person who sent you this video.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show, and you are tuning in to your boy Cortez Hustle. I'm sitting here with Lester Young, founder and creator of Path to Redemption, and we're talking, man, entrepreneurship versus the mass incarceration that's happening in and through our communities. Could entrepreneurship be a solution? So let me ask you that directly. I kind of know the answer, but should we be pushing entrepreneurship in and through our communities a little bit more, giving our children more options other than just school, get a good job, get good grades so that you can work for somebody else? Could that potentially be a way to curb mass incarceration?
I agree. Yes, and that's what I do. When I work with young teen boys and girls today, I don't tell them to go get a job, because some of these young, especially young boys, they see the D boys, they see the glitter, the fashion going on, and I show them like, yo, you can buy a box of T-shirts, 2 dozen of T-shirts. I'll take you to the flea market and I'll show you how to flip that. And when you show them like you can buy a simple product, wholesale versus retail product, you can begin to create your own wealth and have a longevity in wealth building versus the D-boy or the dope boys. Yeah, the dope boys that you see on your block. So I think it's important that we connect our youth with entrepreneurship, showing them that you can make a flip, you can bust a move, but you can do it legitimately. You can buy, like I showed one kid that I was working with, is that he can go buy boxes of shades, eyeglasses, shades or whatever, right? I showed him a wholesaler where he was able to buy 2 boxes of glasses, went to the flea market. I think he spent like $75, and he was able to flip that to him was $280 some odd dollars. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, showing them how to make that connection, something that they can do on the weekends, that they don't have to see crime as the only option of the come up. You can actually create something of your own by making a small investment. So I truly believe entrepreneur is key to helping save our youth from gangs and incarceration.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, man, because it's you flipping in the streets, and this is all legit people do is flip too. They just don't have to look over their shoulders 24/7. They don't have to worry about the cops and all of this kind of stuff, but it's flipping, right? Buying wholesale, selling retail, and then developing multiple distribution outlets. That's the same thing an OG in the hood is doing. He's buying his work wholesale, he's flipping it retail, and he's recruiting to create multiple distribution outlets. And if we have more people like you, legit business people, coming into the hood, so that they have that positive person in their ear saying, hey, yeah, you want to make some money? I get it. Let's do it the right way. Right now, they only have the D-boy in their ear saying, come on over here, young homeboy. Let me show you how to get this guap, get this money, get this paper, get these bands, or whatever they say nowadays. And you hit on something earlier, too. You talked about being able to pass your business down to your children. And I think that's the 3 reasons that I love entrepreneurship is A, the tax game is written for people who are in business. So if you want to get, the tax game right, you got to have a business. B, you also said pride of ownership. When you wear your pressure washing t-shirt, your uniform, that is dope, man, because I'm sure as your little girl gets older, she's going to develop that same sense of pride too. But when you create a business and you create it legit, you are creating an asset that's willable and transferable to your children, man. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come hang out with us, Lester. Tell everybody where they can connect with you and help you with your program. I want to make a donation myself personally, but tell everybody how they can do that and also how they can grab your book.
Well, you can just make it simple. You can go to Path, the number 2, Redemption. .org and go to my website, and you can see the work that I'm doing in the community, working with the youth. You can purchase my book, and one of the things that I'm having, if anyone that wanted to make a donation, What my goal is to put 24 copies of my books in different prisons across the state of South Carolina and across this country. So every donation you make, I'm putting this book inside of a facility to help individuals who are incarcerated get their minds right in their transition back into the community, back into their family circle. You can also find me on Facebook, Lester Young on Facebook, and the same thing for Instagram, Path Number 2 Redemption 515 on Instagram.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back on the other side of this break, I'm going to list for you 5 businesses that you can start for less than $200. So keep it right here. The Cortez Hustle Show is a copyrighted production of iHustle Media Group. Any unauthorized use of the video, audio, captions, depictions of this show without express written consent of iHustle Media Group is strictly prohibited. iHustle Media Group, a better way to market. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. Again, huge shout out to my man, Lester Young, author of The 5 Stages of Incarceration and founder of Path to Redemption. I hope you guys learned something, man. Hit the share button. There's a lot of folks out there who need to hear this message, man. And like I promised, I'm going to give you at least 5 businesses that you can start for less than $200. There is a website that I was able to find, and it's called frugalforless.com, and they've got an article, and they actually listed 16 of these businesses that you can start for less than $200. Now, I'm not going to do some of the online businesses because y'all know I'm a big proponent of taking your gifts, talents, and special abilities and turning them into a business for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you are good at hair, whether you bake or you cook really well, right? Whether you are an artist, whether you sing, whether you play instrument, whatever gift God has given you, it's in this day and age with the internet, it is extremely easy to package and present those gifts and talents to the marketplace so that they can produce income for you. But I'm going to show you some other things, non-traditional things that you may never have thought of that you can get started. And when I'm talking business, guys, I want you to keep in mind that the tax code in our country here in America was written for business people, by business people, and to benefit business people, right? There's 3 sections of people who benefit the most from our tax code, and that is business owners, landowners, and investors, right? A lot of people don't have money to become a major investor to get the tax benefits. A lot of people can't buy land and real estate right now at their current level of income, but everybody can start a business right now. Because remember, what actually is a business in terms of getting positioned to take advantage of the tax code? A business is a tax ID number and a folder, to quote my mentor and coach Brian Bean. That's pretty much it, right? It's paperwork filed with the Secretary of State of your state that says you are doing business. And guess what? It doesn't even have to be a tax ID number. Most people don't realize that in this country, your social security number is a tax ID number, right? But if you want to separate your business from your strawman person, then you can create a separate tax ID number if you wanted to. But I thought these were some cool ideas, some that I never would have thought of if I didn't check out this article. So less than $200, what kind of businesses can you start? Did you know that you can teach English online? There are services that you can register for because America is still the greatest country on the planet with the most opportunities. Thousands and tens of thousands of people are flooding into this country every single month. And they know they need to learn how to speak English. So what they do is they go online and they take these English courses so that they can learn the language before they come. Well, guess what? You can be one of those people and start teaching English online. Expect to make anywhere between $14 and $22 per hour. That's about $2,000 per month, working just 3 to 5 hours per day. Interesting. right? And I'm going to put a link to the article in the comments. Matter of fact, let me do that now while I'm thinking about it, because it also links to other resources, like the place that you can go to actually sign up for some of this stuff if you so choose. So let me throw the link here in the comments. Bang, bang. There we go. I'm going to throw it in there on YouTube as well. Let me know if any of these resonate with you. If this is something that you would give a try, right? Do you think that you could teach English online and make you a few extra dollars? Let's see, what's another good one? They list blog publishing, but I'm going to skip that. That's an online opportunity, even though you can make a ton of money blogging, especially if you love to write. Let's see, pet sitting services. Pet sitters typically get $50 to $75 for overnight stays. Come on, man. And what's cool about being a pet sitter is you can actually do some other things, get some other work done while you're pet sitting, right? So you can be pet sitting and working on your website for your pet sitting services, right? You can be pet sitting and you can be working on your social media for your pet sitting services, because think about it. You're giving a dog some water or a cat some water. You're feeding them. You might take them on a walk. And the most of the time, man, a lot of people are hiring these sitters for overnight jobs. So you can do a lot, get a lot accomplished as a pet sitter, but be making money at the same time. Good morning, Vanessa. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. House caretaking services, right? This is another one. Caretaking can be as simple as watering the plants and doing some light cleaning, or it can be as much or become much more involved. It just kind of depends on what you want your services to provide. And there's a couple links that you can go find, register with, and they will actually list you so people can find you in your area if they are looking for a house caretaking services. These are all jobs or all businesses that you can create for less than $200, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. What's another one? Scrap metal recycling. This one is hard labor in a lot of cases, but people are making a ton of money doing these services. I want you to think about something. When it comes to making money, there's nothing better than, there's only one thing better than getting something for free that you can turn around and sell, right? You get something for free like scrap metal. You go dig it out of trash cans. Maybe people have old appliances and you get them for free, and then you can turn them into the scrap yards to recycle them. But one thing trumps that. That is actually getting people to pay you to come get that stuff, right? So a lot of times you can set up your business in this arena to where people can call you and hire you. Maybe you set up a garage cleaning service. Maybe you set up a basement cleaning service. I know a guy who actually was the guy who cleaned out all of the properties from estate sales. And guess what? There's a lot of stuff that can be recycled when you clean up a garage, you clean up a basement for somebody, you clean up a house that has been transferred because of an estate sale. And guess what? You made money when they called you to come do the job, but then you've got the refrigerator, you've got the old washer and dryer, you've got all kinds of stuff that can be recycled, and you got paid on the front end. Then you turn around and you can, some of the stuff can actually be fixed and sold and make a little bit more money. And worst case scenario, it can just be recycled. So that's a huge opportunity, but again, it takes work. And a lot of people don't want to put in the work. Let's see, window cleaning is another one, right? Quite simple. There's a lot of businesses and establishments with glass storefronts and things of that nature. Even homes and residences would love to have their windows cleaned. All the material you need to start cleaning windows is less than $100 in a lot of cases. Now, you might have to go get licensed and bonded depending on the type of industry that you're going to serve, whether it's commercial or residential. That might cost you a couple $100, but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you can get a business started for a little bit of nothing, is what I'm trying to say here. Handyman services. If you have skills, if you are handy with a hammer and a screwdriver and certain tools, you can start a handyman service. Less than $200, man, worth of tools and equipment, and you can start a handyman service. I've got a sponsor of our show, which is freefunnelmachine.com. That means you can build a website for free. You can go get a domain name for anywhere from $1 to $15. You can register with your Secretary of State, your fictitious name, anywhere from $7 to $15. And then if you wanted, your tax ID number is free if you wanted a separate tax ID number. And then depending on the state you live in, if you wanted to file LLC paperwork, I know here in Missouri it's $50, but that ranges from $50 to a couple $100. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's not hard to get a business started and up and running. The question is, do you have the commitment that it takes? That's all that is required, and that's what's holding most people back. Tutoring services, right? To be a tutor, you used to have to get hired into a pool or do some expensive advertising on your own. Then you had to deal with collecting payments. Now you can simply open an account with tutor.com or Wisent.com and let them find your students and process their payments. You've got skills. If you have above average intelligence, if you have a degree in English, in mathematics, in science, right? Come on, man. Make you some extra money as a tutor. Let's see. I think that's it. I think I gave you guys at least 5. Some other ones I'll just mention quickly. Life coaching. This is where your experience can help other people, right? Maybe you've been on your job for 25 years and you can coach people through their career path journey, right? Maybe you have experience with being happily married for 40 years. You can coach people on the ups and downs of a marriage, how to avoid arguments, whatever it is that you did to be successful in your marriage. That is valuable information if you would only package and present it to the marketplace. So your experiences can transform your life. Maybe you're a single mom and you have a 6-figure career. Think about that. How many single moms would love to have a 6-figure career, but maybe they just don't manage their households properly or in a way that's conducive for them to maybe go back to school online and get a degree so that they can move up in the company. But maybe that's what you did. That's where your experience lies, and you can teach them some organizational management skills. You can teach them on some parenting skills. You can teach them on how to leverage and build a network that can help them, some babysitting pools and things of that nature. I don't know, what experience do you have that can add value to somebody else's life? That would be life coaching. Taxi services, right? Uber, Lyft, lots of money to be made. I've driven Uber before, and it was not uncommon for me to bring in an extra $2,000 per month, $500 per week, and I would drive 4 to 5 hours per day, ladies and gentlemen. So it is a way to make some extra money if you have a decent vehicle. App development and sales, that's a little techie, but technically, if you have those skill sets, you can actually do that, and it costs you less than a couple $100 to get started. We talked about handyman services, window cleaning, tour guide services, right? You can create your own tour guide services if you are in a city that's a tourist attraction. I'm in St. Louis. A lot of visitors come to St. Louis and they might want to go see the arch. They might want to go see some of our free museums. We have one of the largest free zoos in the country. they might want to know the best places to eat and that kind of stuff. So you can create a business around those things. Painting, if you got that skill set, it's another business you can create for less than $200. Used book sales, right? It's another one. We talked about scrap metal, social media management services. A lot of people are getting into entrepreneurship and they don't know how to leverage social media. If you got that skill set, ClickBank publishing. A lot of digital products exist online and they're always looking for affiliates to help them promote those products. So that's another way that you can make money and spend less than $200, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, a huge shout out to my man, Lester Young, author of The 5 Stages of Incarceration and founder of Path to Redemption. It's a nonprofit organization where he teaches young people how to stay out of prison, and then he teaches young people fresh out of prison how to transition back into the community and be productive members of society, how to start businesses, how to find gainful employment, how to not let their conviction and their felony record define them for the rest of their life. So brothers doing God's work, man. If you have an opportunity, go over to Path to Redemption. .org. That's path, the number 2, redemption.org, and drop a donation on my man. He's doing some good work. So with that being said, man, until I talk to you guys next time. Don't forget, on Friday's episode, we are continuing our 6-part series on Do for Self, and we're talking about shelter. So the 5 critical elements that are things that we should be providing for ourselves as Black people in America: food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security. We're going to focus on shelter. What would it look like if we created our own houses, our own buildings for our businesses and things of that nature? Could that help transform our community? Until then, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it.